Presenting my entry for PiWars 2020 MacFeegle Prime. This robot is heavily inspired by Johnny 5, as you can see. It's a tracked mobile robot with 2 arms, each with 6 degrees of freedom, and a fully articulated head. His eyebrows aren't quite working yet, but I'm working on it. So the specs. This robot is powered by a stereo Pi. This is a custom board that allows for dual cameras, as you can see in his eyes. Also one of the proud sponsors of PiWars. And the motor control is provided by Red Robotics Red Plus board. Also one of the sponsors, I believe. For the control of the arms, there is an Adafruit servo controller, not currently connected due to a compatibility issue. You can see the servo tester right there, just to make sure everything's working, and I'll show that in a second. The robot itself is running Ubiquiti Robotics Robot Operating System Image, which is based on Ubuntu. For the drive, we have 4 Monster Bog motors, which provide plenty of grip. We have 17 servos in total, 2 in the head, 1 in the torso, and the other 14 are in the arms. And we have 2 power buses providing power for these. We have a 12 volt, which is running the Pi and the motors, and there is a 6 volt power bus for the servos. Things to note is it's got a fully 3D printed design, including the tracks. So they're printed using TPU, which is a flexible material. The capabilities of the robot are actually extensible over time. So at the minute, the stereo Pi cameras aren't actually being used, but they are capable with ROS of generating depth maps for mapping and obstacle avoidance, and line following, needless to say. The future plans using ROS are to create a kinematic model for the arms, to implement SLAM or use one of the libraries. And, well, one thing that's definitely missing, isn't it, MacFeegle Prime, is your weapons. So I've got a Nerf cannon that I've put together. It's not currently functional, but he's looking forward to having a play with it, to say the least. For one of the challenges, you'll recognize the barrel. Needless to say, the barrel isn't a problem. So I thought I'd give him a challenge and see what his maximum payload is. Not even the maximum payload. So this is a 200 gram can of peaches. Not even breaking a sweat at full extension. Thank you, MacFeegle. So, some ease of life, features and functionality. One thing that is incredibly useful, it's a magnetic skull cap, so you can access the Pi and all of the other circuitry inside. One thing that is very useful is a charging port. So the battery pack actually has a BMS on board, which handles charging and discharging. So rather than having to dismantle the robot, I can actually charge it and power it at the same time. Very handy for when it's on the bench. As you can see, looking closer, the tracks actually have Morse code embedded in them as well. The dots and dashes there, as well as the blanks. It's not fully compliant Morse code. It doesn't have the pauses in it or anything like that, but I've only so many links to work with. As a tribute to the great man Sir Terry Pratchett, they read out GNU Terry Pratchett, so his name lives on. I just thought that was a nice little feature to add. So this is MacFeegle Prime, and thank you for your time.